Hello and welcome to Narc Detox with Joy. I'm Joy and I am here to help you on your journey of emancipation as you detox from the narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath who has infiltrated your life. Listen, you don't have to remain a victim of their antics, of their tactics. We are here to help you. I'm here to help you transition from a place of confusion to clarity. Listen, today I want to talk to you about not seeking closure from the narcissist. Look, that's something that you cannot get from the narcissist. Look, what you have to first of all understand is that the narcissist, at their core, what they are is adult toddlers. They are like 5-year-olds in adult bodies. They are 5-year-olds who are trapped inside this adult body. They, whatever happened to them in their childhood or in their upbringing where they learned these patterns, they kind of get their development is somewhat arrested, and they don't develop emotionally beyond that stage. And so that's why they're able to have hissy fits, tantrums, and just really act like an adult toddler. They are emotionally underdeveloped and they cannot respond to adult situations like healthy people. And so if you are seeking closure from them, that's you'll never get it. That's one thing that you really have to understand. With myself, I wanted so much closure from the narcissist, right? I wanted my ex-narc to be able to explain to me why he did what he did to me. And, was he ever sorry for what he did? Did he have any remorse? I just had so many questions that I wanted answers for. And I am so grateful that I did not seek him for that information, or I didn't seek that information from him. Because what happens when you pursue them, or when you engage that conversation with them, um, really you're kind of handing the power back to them. Now, the power back to them is really open for debate, whether you discarded them or they discarded you. It's really about competition with them. It's all about games. I'm definitely not telling you to engage in any game with them, because they're very competitive. And if you do, you are going to end up the one who is hurt. You are going to end up the one who is disadvantaged, because you don't have their playbook. You don't have their rules. But listen, that can change. Just get information. Like we say, knowledge is power. Even the Bible tells us we perish for lack of knowledge. We perish because of ignorance. But once you have knowledge, you know how to decode and dismantle them at their games. But don't do it from that vantage point. When you gain knowledge, do it and use that information to protect yourself. Do it so that you don't end up in a similar situation down the line, because we know that what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. Let your heart be pure as you try to make sense of things and what has happened to you. So whatever you learn, whatever you do, make sure your hands are clean and your heart is clean, so that you don't invite that kind of karma back into your life. Don't try to be the one who issues revenge on the narcissist. It's not going to, it's not going to work out very well for you. So just focus on yourself and your healing. Now, going back to this discussion on closure, like I was saying to you, you can't expect an adult response from a child. You can't expect an adult response from a narcissist. Essentially, what you give them is narcissistic supply. Now, with narcissistic supply, it could really be anything. We know that they are shame-based individuals, and they lack empathy. We know also that the narcissist, they do things for attention. They do things for validation. And so if you are going to them looking for that closure, how they're going to interpret it is that, you know what, I'm still her God. I'm still his God, because you are coming to me to help you close this chapter in your life. But guess what? The narcissist is never done with you. I don't care how long they go quiet. I don't care if it's been weeks, months, even years. Like, listen, I was speaking to a lady not that long ago who told me it was 22 years of silence before she heard from her ex-narc. And then the crazy thing about it is he had all kinds of information about what she had been doing over those 22 years. It is never over. It is never over. And, seek the closure for yourself. Look, I just got a thought that I wanted to share with you. So, with the narcissists, like, they are hoarders, and they don't just hoard stuff, they hoard people. So, closure for them is final. It's closing the chapter. It's meaning this is where we end, this is how it's ending, and there's no more. Now, for a healthy adult, we can accept that, okay, we're closing the door in this chapter in our life, but we're going to walk into a new chapter. We're going to walk into a new season, and we can trust that we will meet people who will be able to help us, as we continue in our journey of life. However, they're going to add value to our lives, however they edify us, or however we edify them. That's what it's about. But not so much with them. They want to hoard people, and that's why you find that they never fully are done with their exes. They are never completely over their exes, and they like to keep and hold on to their exes. Now, if you're the ex that they cannot control, who does not want to remain friends, then it's a problem. So the baby just woke up. I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I had to my niece was sleeping and she just woke up, so I had to take care of her real quickly. But back to what I was saying, they are hoarders, and what they do is they shelf their exes. Couldn't be me. I refuse. I will not be put on a shelf. Like, you are not a doll. You are not a toy. You are not there for somebody's convenience that they're going to stash you over there. And when they feel like, what, you've had enough time in timeout or in punishment, that they're going to take you off the shelf and bring you back into their lives just so that they can start the abuse cycle with you. Refuse that. Listen, this is not what you were created for. You have to tell yourself, look, I was fashioned and formed in divinity, and my life has purpose, and I will not accept such foolishness. No. If the other exes want to do that, that's their business, but don't let it be you. Don't let your purpose or your life be derailed by somebody who refuses to grow up, or, be accountable for the things that they do or how they've hurt you. And I want you to understand that narcissism really is a choice. They know that they're doing wrong. It's not as if, oh, they are just completely oblivious to what they do. No, they know very well what they are doing is wrong. But because, of their shame base, they're not able to become accountable, because then that means they have to start digging into themselves. And we know that they are weak. We know that they self-loathe. They hate themselves. And so now, when they realize what they've done to you or how they hurt you, that's when they become the victim and begin to, function and move in the victim role, and everything that they did to you, everything that they said to you, every way that they mistreated you. They turn around and tell their flying monkeys that it was you who did it to them. It was you who played them. It was you who used them. Without them, you would not be where you are. Not true. Don't believe that. That's all garbage. Let it, just leave it over there. Don't even concern yourself with it. But like I was saying with the exes, they recycle them. And so when you're getting, so that's why they don't want to give you the closure, because they're not done with you. They are never done with you, especially if you're grade A supply. Like, if you are the one that who delivered the most amount of narcissistic supply in whatever category that they needed it. And again, you got to understand that narcissistic supply, like I was saying, can be anything from attention, from affection, ego stroking, resources. How beautiful are you? How handsome is he? How deep is your pocket? How loyal are you? Will you talk back? Will you jump? And when I tell you to jump, will you say how high? Whatever it is, like, it's different things for different narcs. So, and because they don't validate themselves, they need you to validate them. And so that's all part of narcissistic supply. um, they will always want to keep that door open. And that's why we say that the final discard is in your hands. That's why you have the upper hand. That's why you have power. And so don't go to them for foreclosure. When you decide that you're done, or even if they've discarded you and they've, and you got to know that that discard is just to punish you. It's just to humiliate you. It's just to, they're ready to move on to somebody else. They're already in the love bombing stage. So when they discard you, that's because they've got to work on somebody else. then that's 9 out of 10, because we know, okay, narcissists are pathological cheaters, but it is not every narcissist who is a cheater. Some can be faithful, but for the bulk of them, they are cheaters. So yeah, so you just got to remember that. But closure is the gift that you give yourselves. Now, how do you do it? I can only speak from my experience. And it's not easy. Okay. So I want you to understand that I do know, I can empathize with you, and I understand it is not easy. But what I had to do is like, allow yourself to go through the process, allow yourself to feel those emotions, and really, just just engage in that moment. If you got to be mad, be mad. If you got to cry, cry. If you have to talk about it, talk about it. But do whatever you have to actually feel the pain, to actually feel everything that is tied in that moment and in the truth that you find out. But don't stay there, don't dwell there. Surround yourself with the people who love you, the people who uplift you, the people who remind you of who you are, and begin to point you into the things that you were working towards before you met the narcissist. Engage yourself in activities that you love and that you enjoy, and stay away from things that remind you of that person. It's crazy because when you go into the narc community and you talk to other survivors and thrivers, some will tell you that they had to move countries, continents to get away from the narcissist, yet they're still able to cyber stalk them. They're still able to triangulate them. They're still able to send flying monkeys their way. But I'm saying all of this so that you can understand the lengths that they go to, and that some people have had to go to free themselves. So it doesn't matter. Don't feel bad because you have to change your life, change your routines, sometimes change jobs, because not all narcissists are romantic, even though I do tend to talk about romantic situations. But not all narcissists are come from a romantic relationship. Sometimes it's siblings, sometimes it's parents, it's friends, it's your employer, it's the church. So don't ever feel like you have to stay within that circle of influence. It's a big world out there, over 7 points, whatever many billion people. So just because one or two here treat you poorly, that's not how everybody else is going to treat you. And trust me, yes, there are many narcissists out there, but not everybody is. There are people who will love you right where you are. And I had to tell myself that. And also remember that, you know what, it's time for you to start focusing on yourself. Establish those boundaries. Focus on loving yourself and getting back in touch with yourself, and then realizing that, listen, I had dreams before I met this person, and because they are so good at mirroring us and presenting a representative of themselves, they present a representative of the person that we desire, the person that that we want in our lives. Look, I had to tell myself, look, Joy, that man was nothing but a cheap imitation of the man that you deserve. The man that you deserve is still out there. So forget about this one, because the longer you hold onto it, the longer you hold back your healing process and moving forward in life in general, period. So that's what sunk into me. And I decided, you know what? No, you are not going to, you've played with me enough. You're not going to do it anymore. So don't let them play with you more than they already have. Stand up for yourself, and you don't have to stand up for yourself in front of them. Stand up for yourself in front of the mirror, in front of your own audience, yourself, and remind yourself that I am valuable. I am enough. I am worthy. I am lovable. There is nothing wrong with you right where you are. You are a whole person. Validate yourself, uplift yourself, and encourage yourself. And that's how you begin to take control of your life and move forward from everything that you experienced with the narcissist. Look, it gets better. You don't have to be tied down to a past that is inauthentic to the person that you are. No, you are worth so much more. And, you know, the narcissist only cared about you or was only attracted to you for one reason, and that was whatever the narcissistic supply that they could get from you. And that's it, period. You have so much more to give than to feed the ego of an overgrown toddler. Mm-mm. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to come back and, check out the videos, and as well as subscribe and share with somebody whom you feel could benefit from this. We are going to continue soldiering on in our journey of emancipation as we continue to decode the narcissist. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will be back again. Take care until next time.